work? Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Wonderful. Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Are you having fun at the book fair today? Yes, everyone's having a good time. Wonderful. For those of you who are standing, feel free to take a seat. This table is going to be empty in just a few minutes. So we have some spots over here. So I want to welcome you all to my session, which is called The Power of Flowers. My name is Tatiana. I'm an environmental educator, and I love talking about nature and the environment, and most of all, plants. Those are my favorite things. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to go through some different kinds of powers that flowers have to help kind of maybe trick or attract different kinds of pollinators, bugs, or animals to make them visit different kinds of flowers. So we're going to explore a little bit of that today. And throughout our session, I have a few little surprises and activities we're going to do so we can learn a little bit more. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. What's your question? We're going to do an activity. It's going to be very interactive. So I'm going to need your guys' help to go through each of these different activities that I have planned so we can better understand how flowers work and kind of get into the shoes or maybe the wings of a pollinator. So can I see a thumbs up if everybody's with me? You ready to get started? Awesome. Do you have a question? Exactly. We're going to talk a little bit about bees and other kinds of insects. Yes. I love that. Yes. Yeah. So I got a really great comment over here in the front saying that we shouldn't be afraid of bees because we're trying to help flowers, right? Yeah. So we're going to learn a little bit more about bees and how they can be super helpful to flowers. We don't have anything to fear, right? Because they're just a part of nature, and we want them going around visiting each of our flowers, okay? So we talked a little bit about some insects already. Can anybody give me an idea, if you want to raise your hand, why do you think plants or flowers are so special? Why do we like plants? Why are they important? Yes. Yes, plants grow in the ground, absolutely. What else? They give us oxygen, the air that we breathe. That's why we like plants. Yes, absolutely. Some give us food. We eat different kinds of plants like fruits and vegetables. What else? Yeah, trees can filter out a lot of stuff that's in the air and give us oxygen. Yeah, oxygen. So trees take in carbon dioxide and they give oxygen. Yes? And they help us breathe very clean air. Absolutely, right? And so right now, like I said, we're going to get in a little bit of the shoes of a pollinator. So I heard somebody talking about bees already. What is another really important pollinator that you might know of? Ooh, hummingbirds. I love that. What's another kind of pollinator? What visits flowers? Yes. Starts with the letter B. It's not a bee, but something else. Butterflies. Yes. You forgot? That's okay. We're going to learn a lot about a bunch of different pollinators, right? So we have our bees, we have butterflies, even hummingbirds, right? Lots of amazing animals and insects that help our flowers. So I need your guys' help. This is our first little activity for this session. We are going to get into the perspective of a butterfly today. And everybody's going to get one of these headbands. Does anybody know what are these little things on the top of the headband? You can say it out loud. Antennas, right? So these are a lot of different insects. And hold on, let me put on my antenna. Now I'm almost a butterfly, right? So we have our antennas on. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to put it on too so we can all be matching. Okay. Wonderful. So these antennae are going to be one of our first parts of a pollinator to uncover one of our powers of the flowers that we're talking about today. So besides them looking very cute on our heads, why are antennae important? What do they do for an insect? Do you have an idea? No? What's your idea? Why are antennas important? Yeah, flowers grow and you put water on them, but when an insect is flying around and they're using their little antennas, look, these can move, right? They can get longer. You want to make them a little bit longer. What do you think this does for the insect? Do they drink water through their antennas? Oh, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but we're focusing on antenna. Why do you think antennae are important? What's your idea? Helps them communicate? That's a really good idea, potentially. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I like that, right? What else? To maybe hear things? Okay, we're getting warmer. Yes. Yes, so the antenna help butterflies figure out where to go. This is another part of their body that helps them sense. Kind of like a compass. I really like that idea. Absolutely. So the antenna help kind of guide and direct the butterflies to figure out where am I supposed to go. This is something that they use to smell, surprisingly. So they don't have a nose, but there's little senses on here on their antennas that help them smell different kinds of things. And even to touch a little bit. They sense their environment. So they can feel the air, they can feel the wind, right? So antennae are super, super important. It looks like we need another pair of antennae over here. Okay? So yes, these are our antennae, right? And remember, I was just talking about this is another form of sense for them. So we're going to unlock our first flower power, which is really beautiful, sweet scents. So if you look at this flower that I have right here, what color is it? You can say it out loud. Purple flower, right? This is actually a flower called lavender, and this is a super sweet smell. Sometimes it can make you feel calm and relaxed, and this is one of my favorites because it just smells so, so good. And this is another favorite kind of flower for different pollinators, especially butterflies, because of that sweet scent. So, I have a little surprise for you guys. So we have our antennas all ready, and we also have little bags of lavender we're going to pass out. So I want you to smell. Maybe you can use your antenna to help you get a smell for the lavender. And this is our first flower power, remember? So take a whiff. What do you think? What does that smell like to you? Does it smell good? Does it smell bad? Is it stinky? Or does it feel nice? So take a smell, grab one of your bags. Strong smell, right? You can smell it like immediately. Yeah, you don't like the smell? Not so much? Too strong? A little good, a little bad. Well, this is one of our flower scents, right? So lavenders are really important and powerful flowers. Yeah? So if you don't like it, that's okay. If you don't like it, you can leave it on the table. But this is one of our first flower powers, right? So they're really beautiful scents. Okay? So we have our antenna already. So when we think about a butterfly, and I have a little example right here, how is this butterfly going to move from one flower to another flower? What part of the body do they use? Their wings. Yeah, can everybody show me your butterfly wings? Let me see how you fly. Very nice. Absolutely, yes. So wings are going to be a really important part of a lot of pollinators so they can travel from one flower to another. So we have our antenna, we looked at our wings a little bit, and that helps pollinators move. Now, we are going to look at, or rather think about how butterflies can actually see. So butterflies have eyes that are very, very powerful, and they actually see a little bit different from us. So as humans, if we look around, we can see all of these beautiful colors. We see the little triangles on this little garden here. Yeah, butterflies see different colors than us. of some of our flower examples. But I want you to help me get an idea of how butterflies see. So they have a wider range of colors that they can see, but they're actually not as clear as our eyes. So they look a little bit blurry. So if everybody can put their hands in front of your eyes, do like little goggles, right? You can use both of your hands. I just can't use both of my hands right now, right? Okay, so show me your goggles, right? And then squint your eyes, make your eyes go teeny tiny, teeny tiny. You see how things kind of get darker, it might be a little less clear, right? Harder to see. That's how butterflies' eyes work. They're kind of like me. We can't see, butterflies and myself cannot see from far away. It's really, really hard. And of course, butterflies don't have glasses, so they have a really hard time just kind of seeing things clearly from far away. So let me show you a picture so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. All right, everybody, so check this out. Look at these pictures that I have in on this paper here. On the left-hand side, this is how humans see flowers. You see the bright colors, the shapes are pretty clear, the petals are rounded, right? But just like we were talking about, butterflies have a hard time seeing from far away. And then using their kind of, they're called compound eyes, they're really powerful eyes. They can actually see a different layer of colors. And if you compare the pictures from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, you see the really dark black spots in the middle. Those are something called nectar guides. Can you all say nectar guides? Awesome, yes. So these nectar guides are invisible to us as humans sometimes. We can't always see them. But butterflies have this special sense in their eyes already that tell them, hey, this is exactly where we have to land so we can go on the flower. So this one is kind of a little clue. These are called nectar guides, right? So what do you think a butterfly is looking for inside of a flower? Ooh, pollen is a really good guess. Pollen is something they end up carrying, but they're looking for something specific inside here. What is it? Nectar, exactly. So these nectar guides are pointing butterflies in the right direction to go into the flower and get the nectar. It's like a sweet, sugary water, and that's one of the food sources for butterflies. So these nectar guides are super, super important, and their eyes help them see flowers in a completely different way than we do. So instead of seeing all the colors of the rainbow, they see things kind of in sort of different shades of gray and black to see these nectar guides. Yes? They see like dogs, yeah. So they can see things that we don't always see as humans, right? So they're super, super powerful. So next, we are going to talk a little bit about what they eat. So we're talking about nectar already, which is sugary sweet right in the center of the flower. But how do you think, Leslie, how do you think butterflies reach inside of a flower? They have long tongues, absolutely. And these tongues are kind of like a little drinking straw. If you can see right here in my example, it's kind of tucked away. But this little swirly piece right here where my finger is tapping is a part of a butterfly called a proboscis. Can you all say proboscis? Nice. So proboscis is a part of a butterfly's body that helps them drink inside of a flower. It's kind of like a tongue, like a long drinking straw that will go right in the center of the flower and get that beautiful nectar that they're really trying to look for. Yes, so it definitely rolls up and can also roll back in. So we're going to practice with some of these little party favors we're going to pass on in just a second. But I'm going to blow inside and I'm going to show you what this looks like. This is kind of like a butterfly's proboscis. It's going to move in and out as needed so you can go inside and get the nectar of the flower. So ready? Can I get a countdown? We'll start 3, 2, 1. Okay, so start ready. 3, 2, 1. But you saw how I went in and out? So I want you guys to practice. We're giving you some party favors. Let me see how your proboscises work. Try it yourself. Isn't that fun? I wish these made some noise, but maybe it's better that it doesn't. 3, really cool, right? So this is like a proboscis, like a butterfly's tongue. And that helps it get its nectar, right? So this was our second flower power. So our first flower power were the sweet, sweet smells. And second flower power is these nectar guys that help different butterflies figure out where to go, where they can land, so they can actually get the food that they need to eat. Very nice. Everybody's proboscis is working? I think they look great. Amazing. Yeah, you need to blow really, really hard, but you can get it, you can get it. Amazing. Okay, so do me a favor, let's put our proboscis down on the table. I have a few other things I want to talk through before we're finished, right? So next, something I want to talk about is the different sizes of flower. So I have 3 different kind of examples here, and we already talked about one of them. So this purple flower, if you remember, is called lavender. So this one is kind of a smaller flower. It's really long, but it smells really, really good. This next one in yellow is a tulip. And tulips are kind of a little bit in a different shape. They kind of look like little bowls, right? Like a U shape. Kind of looks like a cup, right? Kind of like a rose, right? It's kind of like a lot of petals coming together in sort of a bowl shape. And then we have this pink flower here that is really big, has really long, kind of oval-shaped petals. And this one is going to be a little bit bigger in size. And different kinds of pollinators are going to be able to visit it. So I have a little game here. If you guys may want to help me, I'm going to try to match the different pollinator to whatever flower it is best suited to. Because remember, we were talking about at the beginning, there's so many different kinds of flowers, and they're so, it can be so varied. Yeah, there you go. You're trying to get your nectar from your flower, right? So we have this guessing game here. I'm going to read you all a clue, and then I want you to help me guess what kind of pollinator goes with these different kinds of flowers. We already started talking about some of them, so remember we know pollinators like bees, butterflies, maybe even hummingbirds. But let's take that a step further and look at some other flower examples that I have here on my poster. So let's see, I'm going to read you guys some clues, and I want you to tell me what is the pollinator that goes with this flower. So I'm going to start over here on the top left. We're going to look at this picture. And this one has tubular flowers, tubular petals, which means that they're really long, kind of oval shape, and sometimes they can be red or purple in color. So thinking about some of our examples, which pollinator do you think would like to visit this flower? Bee, butterfly. Bees? I heard a lot of bees. Any other ideas? Bees? Okay. Ooh, or butterflies? Okay. So let's take a look here. Let's see, when I take off this sticker, what it is. It's a butterfly, yes. So remember our example here. Look how big this pink flower is. It's not red or purple, but kind of in the middle. This is really, really big and can support a butterfly coming to visit it. See? Just like that. You see how the sides kind of match? The butterfly is just the right size and fits inside of this flower, so that way it can, again, go into the nectar and suck it all up with its proboscis, right? So butterflies are going to be really important and really like red, purple, even pink flowers, okay? So if you have any pink flowers at home, maybe you'll see some butterflies. Next, we have another butterfly like a daisy that is shallow, it has white petals, it can be white or yellow in color. What pollinator do you think likes daisies? Ooh, okay, I hear a lot of bees again, so let's check it out. Yes, exactly. So bees are This one is a really big example of a bee, right? But they're usually smaller sometimes than butterflies. And they like smaller flowers that have similar colors to them that are kind of white or yellow and they're shallow, so they're not going to be super deep, so it's easy for them to get their nectar inside of those flowers, okay? So a bee likes these kinds of daisies. Next, we have more tubular flowers, so these are kind of long, a little bit kind of like an oval shape, and these can be bright red to orange. So let's think of another pollinator we haven't seen already. We talked about butterflies, we talked about bees. What could be another pollinator? I heard hummingbird, and I think that's because this little paper is coming off, but that's okay. It's absolutely a hummingbird. So let me show you my example here. Look at my cute little hummingbird. What is this part of the hummingbird's face? It's a beak, right? And this is a little bit different than a proboscis on a butterfly, but this part of the hummingbird's head needs to be long enough to fit inside of these flowers. So hummingbirds like these kinds of flowers that are a little bit longer on the inside, so that way they can get their nectar, okay? Now we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We've been talking about flowers that are really brightly colored, maybe they're a little bit more oval in shape. Now this one is going to be something new. This flower has a rotten smell. So think of like the smell of trash, something that's really, really stinky, right? Well, stinky in a bad way, stinky like trash, right? And these flowers are brown or dark purple in color. That's lavender. That should smell a little bit better than what this is. So imagine if you were like going inside your garbage can in your kitchen, something that smells really stinky. This is actually called a corpse flower. So it has a really rotten smell. It does not smell good. But pollinators still like to visit this kind of flower, even though it's not sweet. So I think I heard something. What did you say? Flies. Yes, flies are another kind of pollinator, and they like stinky flowers. So look, we have flies right here. So look at my little fly example. Have you ever seen flies going around like a trash can at the beach or the park? Right? They really like that stinky smell for some reason. Something that's really rotten. And so some flowers give off that same smell. So they kind of trick the flies and say, hey, please come over here. And these flowers still have nectar inside of them, so the flies are still getting something to eat. So that one's a little bit tricky. And usually this flower, it opens up at nighttime. So flies usually will be pollinating when we're asleep. Okay, second to last one I have over here. We have a cactus, and this has little bowl-shaped flowers that are white or green, or it can even have purple. Thank you so much. We already talked about hummingbirds, so we're not repeating it. It's going to be something new. Yes, is it because this is also showing you the answer again? That's okay. This one is kind of tricky. So yes, absolutely. I bet you didn't know bats could be pollinators, right? You knew that? That's amazing. So check out this little bat I have here. Well, it's kind of big, right? It's super cute, right? So bats are absolutely pollinators, and they love these small little cactus flowers. And so if you remember, we were talking about flies and how they like to come out at night. What time do you think these cactus flowers are going to open up? At nighttime, yeah. So bats are nocturnal. They like to come out in the evening again when we're asleep. So when they're flying around, they know I'm going to visit a cactus flower. So bats are another kind of pollinator. Okay, so I saved the trickiest one for last. Oh, thank you so much. I saved the trickiest pollinator for last. So I want to see if maybe you guys can get the right answer. We already talked about birds. Remember, we're not repeating, but you're on the right track. You're on the right track. So let's review. We were looking at butterflies, they like bigger flowers. We were talking about bees, who like daisies, hummingbirds, flies, and bats that like to come out at night. Well, let me give you the clue first. Maybe that'll help you think. Okay, so this flower here is pale or green. It has brown and really small petals. A praying mantis, that's a good guess. What other guesses? I think are dragonfly, right? Fireflies, maybe. So you guys recognize this flower right here? It's a dandelion. Have you ever seen these little petals move in the wind? I gave you the clue right now if you were paying attention. They're seeds, right? And the petals move in the wind. But in this case, it's not an animal. It's not an insect. It's wind. Absolutely. I gave it away because I got too excited. So wind can also be a pollinator for some flowers that are super teeny tiny. There are some insects and some animals that cannot even sit on one of these dandelion flowers. So wind is going to help push out the pollen, push out their seeds so they can move from one place to another, okay? So now, I think you guys are kind of super warmed up, and I want to say that we're all official pollinators now, right? We have our antenna, we have our proboscis, and all of our other fun stuff that I gave to you all today, and we guessed and learned a lot of different pollinators and how they react to the powers that flowers have. So, if you are up for it, I have one last gift I want to give you all. So let me grab it over here. So before you all go, I want to give you one of these little cups. It's a Save the Bees pollinator kit. So inside this little box, you're going to have a seed, some soil, and of course the little container so you can grow your own flowers. So when you grow this at home, maybe you can put this outside, in front of your door, your balcony, and you can see what kind of pollinators end up visiting your flower. And one more thing I want to tell you guys is that I will be at another session today at the book fair at 2:30, so in like an hour or so. I'll be at the Create tent. It's the orange tent that's in the corner back here. And we'll be talking a little bit more about seeds and doing a craft called the helicopter seed, so we can understand how seeds move from one place to another. So if you want to stick around a little bit today, I'll be over there. So we're going to give you all each one of these little growing kits, so that way you can grow this at home and learn more about pollinators that visit your home, okay? So I want to thank you all so much for your attention. If you want to come up, I'll give you one of these little kits, and I have some more information in case you want to learn more. So thank you all so much.